Greetings, stranger. This is Deckard, and you're listening to a Priest audio commentary, copyrighted 2008 WarcraftReplays.com. This is going to be quite a treasure, so pay attention, and always look to the east.
Hey, what's up guys, Priest here again. So this game, it's not the most standard game, I guess you could say, because the positioning is different and I don't get my expansion up and my opponent does expand. The reason is because his main is closer to my expansion, which means he has the advantage. You know, if you look at the positions right now, my opponent has the advantage because his main is closer to my expansion, and my main is farther away from his expansion, which I can't harass it as well as he can harass my expansion. And most of the time what ends up happening is the person that spawns bottom in this situation doesn't expand. They might put Arcane Tower there, and then they tech, and then they expand right when they get their Mountain King out or something. But you either do try and expand, and maybe it might work out. But I don't know. Normally when I do this, I just get out harassed. I would just rather do the strat that I'm doing right now. I think it works better. So we're gonna pause in 3, 2, 1. Unpause. Okay, like I said, Human Mirror is a weird matchup on this map just because of the positions of the positions you can get. Let's say like it's cross spawn. It's pretty much cross spawn. Even if it's not human, like you're pretty much always going to expand. And it's pretty much who can harass the gold peasants, who can cancel the expansion, or who can kill the most peasants at the expansion and delay the expansion the most. And yeah, who can mess up with the gold? Who can mess up your opponent's gold better? The other person's gold more. So like I said, this game isn't as standard. I do go for a Blood Mage second this game, and I pretty much go for a caster push. The reason is because Blood Mage is good because he siphon mana's heroes, obviously, and you can transfer the mana to your heroes. In Human Mirror, that matters so much if he's putting up an expansion, because if he has like just an Archmage with no mana and Footman, and you have casters with water elementals and mana on your Blood Mage, so you can keep transferring mana to your Archmage, like you're pretty much always gonna have 2 or 3 water elementals like the whole time, because you're constantly stealing his mana and giving the mana to your Archmage, and with all your sources that you have. And by the way, in this strat, you don't really get as much priests as you normally would, like doing standard. Like you pretty much just get like mass sorks and you like a couple priests, just because. So the only thing he's gonna have when he expands is just Footman and Militia, and if you have sorceresses, they rape the fuck out of all that stuff. So my plan to do this game, actually, when the game started out, like normally Human Mirror on this map, like you don't really have a plan until you know where your opponent's at. So once I scouted him, I saw the scout farm outside of his base. I'm like, okay, he's probably gonna expand just because of the positions, and I'm just gonna go for this tier 2 caster push sort of deal. And right when you want to do that, you can still creep your gold mine. Obviously, you get level 2 the quickest this way. And sometimes it actually confuses your opponent. Sometimes it makes them think that they're gonna expand. And when they run their army to your expansion and there's nothing there, they're just like, what the hell? And my army is at their expansion. So, you know, even if you're not expanding, always creep the gold mine and just send your peasants back. And then for this strat, I think it's better to attack before you get Arcane Tower, because you're going to be doing the harassing when he's expanding, and he's most likely not going to harass you, obviously, when you're harassing him. But do get Arcane Tower right after you use your wood attack. So this is when I go for the harass. As you saw, I separated my army. I use 4-3-6 as my army, so I use my Footman. I use 1 Footman and my Archmage, and I summoned a Water Elemental when I got to his main. I have those on 4. And pretty much all the rallied Footmen that keep coming, I put those on 4. And then I sent a Water Elemental and 2 Footmen on 5 to his expansion, so I can, you know, harass his main and expansion at the same time, which is very popular in Human Mirror in this map. Another pro to look at, I think, which is a really good pro to watch to play on this map, is XY Lagging. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it like 1% correctly, but it's yeah, XY Ligan, XYLIGAN. He controls his peasants and his militia and Footman really well on this map, and he's probably one of my favorite human players, because his micro, I think, is it's pretty good, especially on lane. Like he does really well in land tournaments, and he's really cool to watch in this map, in my opinion, just the way he controls everything. So, again, you want to micro your peasants. You want to micro your foemen as well as you can when you're harassing, because if you lose too many foemen on the harass, like it's okay, I guess, to lose 1 or 2, but if you lose too many, the caster push that you do when you get tier 2 isn't going to be as strong, and you know, it's just better to have more foemen for harassing, and you know, you can't lose your hero on the harass. If you lose your hero on the harass, he's going to get the free expansion up, and that's one of the main reasons what people have problems with in when they verse human. They get the hero surrounded, or they take too much damage on their hero when they harass. Like, my archmage is really low right now, but I think I micro it pretty well, and I'm delaying his expansion really well with my foeman, even though he's going to kill that foeman that's running away from his expansion right now. So, and I'm going to lose my foeman. I'm not paying attention to that foeman outside of his base. So yeah, if you lose your hero, or if he forces you to TP your hero, it's pretty bad. This strat can be beaten if you lose your hero to the harass, because if you're not killing any peasants while he's putting up in his expansion, it's going to be really hard for you to win without an expansion. Even if you have sorceresses and he has footmen, this strat doesn't really work if you don't harass well in the beginning. Like right now, he has no farm to build anything. I'm actually I'm killing a farm right now outside of his base, and he's trying to build wood peasants, but he can't because there's no farm. So he's low on peasants at his expansion, he's low on peasants at his main, and he has no food. So this is one of the reasons why the strat works. You have to have a good harass too, or else it won't really work. I mean, it can work if you make some mistakes, but it works 1% a lot better if you kill peasants. And it's not that hard to kill peasants in Human Mirror. When you're not expanding and he is expanding, it's not that hard to kill peasants. So, he decides to go to my main right now. I'm assuming he probably thinks that he can kill some peasants, but he sees my altar and it's building my second hero, and I think he just decides to back out because he probably thinks I'm a Mountain King. He doesn't want to get surrounded, or he just wants to go back to his main and defend it off. Not much going on right now. So yeah, since I saw his army at my main, his expansion and his main are pretty much free to harass. It doesn't really matter if he has an Arcane Tower there, because Arcane Tower doesn't necessarily do damage. It's just there to kill water elementals and drain mana. So even if they have guard towers later on in the game, if he had more guard towers and if the game lasted longer, I would have just got defend and killed his peasant line with that. So the strat, my bull mage has been out for a while, but I decided just to keep it back for a little bit. Because him knowing what hero I get, him knowing what him knowing what units I'm gonna get, and how exactly I'm gonna push, kind of gives me an advantage. So if your units are low and you're about to run back to your base to heal anyway, you don't have to have your second hero run out like that. You can just have it sit back in your base for maybe, I don't know, 15-20 seconds. So scroll regen your weak units. Your hero is going to be low when you harass. You can't really stop your hero from getting attacked so much. So I'm anticipating us to fight outside the shop, just because that's where the main point is, entrances to a base. So I send militia just to also I send militia to tower too, but I know it's not a lumber mill. You don't necessarily need a tower in this strat, but I just figured since my harass was so well, it would just help out. So this is the fight. You guys might not think that's a fight, but I mean, he lost 3 footmen, and I think he should have maybe anticipated me going there with all my units. If he didn't lose these footmen right here, I think he would have defended off a lot better. And other mistakes that my opponent made, I think he could have controlled his peasants and militia a lot better. So the main part of this strat is, just get mass sorceresses. You guys think sorceresses own the hell out of grunts? You haven't seen a day until sorceresses own footmen and towers. Since footmen only have 400 HP and grunts have 700, 800 HP, just imagine how bad sorceresses own footmen. So